What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of British Guy Reacts, the place where we give honest reactions, not overreactions. And today we are reacting to top 10 things you should never say to an American. This might come in useful for when I do finally take the trip across the pond to America. Find out what offends you guys, what I should stay clear of saying. Although, you gotta take these with a pinch of salt normally in these videos. It's another Watch Mojo video, so go check out their channel. Let me know in the comments what else you want to see in the future. But for now, we're going to get straight into the video.
Seriously, how much money you make?
What a film.
I told you, 70,000. Well, technically 72,000 last month.
I love this film.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 things you should never say
Some
to
old
an
school
American.
Batman.
How much do you weigh?
About 108, I think.
For this
How much do you weigh? That's a normal thing. You never ask that question.
list, we'll be looking at
Ted Lasso. What? If you've not seen this TV show, watch this TV show, Ted Lasso. Brilliant.
statements and questions to avoid when interacting with U.S. citizens, who could very well be shocked, disagreeable, or downright offended if these are said. Are there any big no-nos we missed? Sound off in the comments. Number 10. There's no such thing as American food.
Que c'est hamburger with a donut for a bun?
Hamburger. The Boys. Great show.
There's no gut here.
It's no secret that fusion cuisine spans the U.S. The land of immigrants and diverse cultures has inevitably been shaped by a wide range of traditions. But listen, Americans do in fact have a lot of their own regional cuisines. Cajun, Tex-Mex, Pennsylvania Dutch, and soul food, to name a few. Influences from other nations have certainly been Americanized, but Americans would argue that they do have their own distinct food staples.
Peanut butter burger is one of my favorites here.
You wouldn't think the peanut butter and the burger would go great together, but man, what a combination it is.
The hamburger is generally considered the national dish in America, a favorite regularly enjoyed at fast food establishments and all-American BBQs. If you challenge an American on where the hamburger originated, be ready for a debate.
You're getting the volume of a burger, the flavor of the bacon, the whole top of that patty is just all that crispy, crunchy, unctuous.
I'd say American do have food. We have a lot of American restaurants in England. Like barbecue restaurants, hamburgers, beef burgers, obviously American food. You guys are quite similar to us as well. You kind of take a food and make it into your own. Like you have your own American style pizza, which I actually prefer to Italian pizza. It's like in England, we have a lot of Indian food, Chinese food, but it's not the food that you get in India or China. It's kind of been adapted to our taste. So,
Just flavor. Then on the inside, it's
I love
super
American
tender.
food.
Number 9. College is so expensive.
Just try.
probably not as expensive as the UK
I'll go to
ones.
some ridiculously expensive college and let you buy me a car.
There's no need to say this. Americans are well aware. Though many agree that the cost of higher education is outrageously expensive, there's little they can do about it. It's a popular item on political agendas that have long been advocated for. Mention of this in a conversation will likely just make an American angry about something they've already been annoyed with for decades. They've taken out massive student loans, paid the overpriced tuitions, and
Same as
students
us.
have complained about it extensively amongst themselves.
I spent 200 grand on higher education and I still haven't figured it out.
Not that much though.
200
Yeah.
grand? Your parents must be pissed.
Nope, all student loans.
They'd love to enjoy the affordability that exists in Norway and Sweden. So, unless that happens, don't remind them of how much they're paying.
Thanks for lying.
You like lies? Here's a few. College is expensive, but it's worth it.
Number 8. That's not real football.
Did you know some historians think American football is based on an ancient Aztec game? It's not American football, it's just football.
The debate surrounding soccer versus football will likely rage on forever.
This Friday Night Lights I've started watching, you know, because obviously you've seen I've been watching the Tennessee games, some NFL clips, and I'm still going to call it American football, guys. Sorry. I'm getting into American football. I really am. I've seen the show called QB1 on Netflix as well, which I'm going to check out. What was the other one? There was one about like the struggling college team. Got the name of it. They do basketball as well. It'll come to me at some point. But yeah, I'm still going to call it American football. No offense, but I've called soccer football my whole life, so I'm not going to change that.
If there's one thing Americans unitedly agree on, it's that football means throwing around a pigskin. They never refer to kicking a ball as football. That's soccer. Though soccer is a popular sport in America, it's generally not as beloved as it is by diehard European football fans.
No, I have never coached the sport that you folks call
I
football.
love Ted Lasso.
At any level. Jesus. And heck, you could fill 2 internets with what I don't know about football.
American football is the nation's favorite, and citizens are quite passionate about their teams. Americans will probably laugh at you if you try to compare the same named sports, and they won't be happy if you question their hardcore fandom. American football is rooted in the culture, so minimizing its significance won't be.
90% of you still aren't subscribed, guys, so if you are enjoying these videos, please just take a second now to click the subscribe button down below. It's much appreciated. Cheers.
Well,
Expect you boys to play football.
That other show's called Last Chance U. That's the one.
Clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose.
I got a few of them on my list.
Number 7. Do I have to tip?
You do.
Come on, throw in a buck.
Everyone knows this in America.
I don't tip.
You don't tip?
No, I don't believe in it.
This question will always be answered with a resounding yes. You absolutely must tip at pretty much any establishment where a service is being provided. Unlike in European countries, tipping is habitual standard practice in the US. Failure to do so will be met with shock from employees and glares from Americans you might be dining with.
Let me just get this straight. You don't ever tip, huh?
I don't tip because society says I have to. All right, I mean, I'll tip if somebody really deserves a tip. If they really put forth the effort, I'll give them something extra. But I mean, it's tipping automatically. It's for the birds.
These workers are already underpaid as it is, so many not only expect tips, but rely on them as part of their income. Unless you want to look cheap or rude in public, avoid this question at all costs and be prepared to engage in this customary show of respect.
You don't care they're counting on your tips to live? You know what this is? It's the world's smallest violin playing just for the waitresses.
Number 6. How much do you weigh?
Ask Jeff if he'll give you his weight.
You're not going to give me your weight?
She doesn't even know how much I weigh.
Asking this.
You can ask a guy how much they weigh. You know. It's, in England, you just don't ask a female how much they weigh.
This will likely get you
Most
scolded
guys won't
or
know,
condemned.
probably.
While commenting on
Unless they
someone's
work out.
weight is not as offensive overseas, it's a rather touchy subject in the US. In addition to the number on the scale being regarded as personal knowledge, different and diverse
I got
beauty
too big.
standards exist in America.
I'm sat like 85 kg at the moment.
Wait, are you still losing
The best thing with weight is, if you ever need some motivation to lose some weight, work out how much you weigh, then look at the UFC and find out which weight division you'd be in and see what guys you'd be fighting. That was what I do. Because I looked and I was going to be fighting like a light heavyweight, or even the weight class below where you got like Kamaru Usman and that. And I'm like, I shouldn't be fighting those guys. That's my motivation.
Just curious.
Am I? Well, I don't know. I guess
Or are you
Movements to accept and embrace body diversity are prevalent, so refraining from discussing weight has become a way to not offend anyone, regardless of whether you think them too small or too large. Inquiring about this sensitive matter is a surefire way to piss off an American, so it's best to keep rudely perceived questions and comments to yourself.
I'd rather be dead in the Sea of Cortez than have you know what I weigh.
I don't want your weights. The captain wants them. Who's going to disobey a captain?
Number 5. Americans are overly patriotic.
Good morning, USA. I got a feeling that it's gonna be a wonderful day.
The flag, the national anthem, the 4th of
I did
July,
not know American
soaring
Dad was
eagles,
out in
all encompass
1993.
and symbolize American patriotism and deep-rooted values of a free
way more
collective
modern than that.
identity. Symbols might be just that in other countries, but Americans take their meaning and significance especially seriously. Since winning the Revolutionary War, many citizens have maintained a strong sense of nationality, even through cultural movements
Someone told me to watch this film, I think, in the comments, right? The Patriot.
attempts to drive social change. As such, it's safer to avoid
I've seen Team
criticisms of
America.
patriotic displays that might appear to be over the top, even if some Americans secretly agree with you. It's essentially a lose-lose, where you could either offend somebody who doesn't care or offend someone who does.
And should we win the day, the 4th of July will no longer be known as an American holiday.
Number 4. How much money do you make?
Understand how much money you make.
I don't know. 70,000 last month?
In the US, money is kind of taboo, especially in discussions around citizen salaries. This is something that's more openly talked about elsewhere, whereas Americans are more tight-lipped on the matter. Similarly to inquiring about someone's weight, income is under.
We wouldn't really ask how much money do you make. You'd tell your mum, your dad, brothers, sisters, but you kind of keep that to yourself, you know.
Understood to be personal.
I get $50,000 a hit. How much do you make?
I just get to keep whatever's in the guy's wallet.
It's sort of an unspoken rule of etiquette amongst the population that everyone's intimate financial details are only theirs to know, and others should respect that. Some employers even have implied or written pay secrecy policies in place, which discourage talk of employee pay. With this understanding ingrained in the minds of Americans, one would benefit from limiting work conversations to careers, excluding salaries.
You took a cab?
Yeah? So?
How much do you make?
I'm telling you.
Come on.
No.
Number 3. Your measurement system is crazy.
I mean, America, you guys have your own thing, the imperial system, you know? On my side of the world, we use the metric system, and by my side, I mean the rest of the world.
Though it's used by pretty much the rest of the world, the metric system isn't used by Americans. So talk of kilometers or anything of that sort will probably be met with blank stares.
Video
the
about
US has a
America.
more complex and confusing imperial system that is unique to the nation.
Can you explain to me?
Yes.
How the country that can send men and hopefully women to the moon
Yeah, all and beyond.
still are in gallons and inches.
Many Americans would likely admit that the metric system is superior in terms of efficiency, but its adoption is unlikely in the US. With that said, you're better off trying to conceptualize measurements with Americans by reverting to descriptions that they would understand. It's about 3 football fields long would certainly get your point across.
So one of the great things about Americans is we won't change no matter how good it would be for us.
Number 2, capitalism sucks.
Capitalism is the only way, Leslie. It moves our country forward. It's what makes America great. And England okay, and France terrible.
Capitalism is a
Hey, watch yourself,
founding
man.
principle of American culture that has evolved into an ideology. It is the system that dominates both major political parties, as free markets and privatization are solid fixtures in American society. Regardless of whether an American is pro or anti-capitalist, the economic subject is touchy and shouldn't be casually introduced in conversation.
You're gonna be convinced of that till next month when you get to James Lemon. Then you're gonna be talking about how the economies of Virginia and Pennsylvania were entrepreneurial and capitalist way back in 1740.
Doing so will most likely spark a heated debate that brings the idea of equally contentious socialism into the mix. Americans of varying ages have strong feelings about the economic system on both ends of the spectrum, so steering clear of it altogether is your best bet.
Hey, fellas! Look what I found in my pocket! Look! A year's salary right here! What I call them? Fun coupons!
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get
Go check
notified
out
about
Watch
our latest
Mojo.
videos.
Subscribe
you have
to
the
my
option
channel.
to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone,
Hate
make sure you go into
spiders.
settings and
I'm
switch
gonna go
on your
watch that video.
notifications.
If
Number
spiders are
1,
big
America
mess.
isn't the greatest country on earth.
Can you say why America is the greatest country in the world?
There's that long-standing idea that America is the promised land, the greatest nation. Nowadays, some might disagree, but it's safer to just avoid saying this. Considering the reputation America's gained, it's no surprise that citizens have tendencies to get defensive when its superiority is questioned, or, on the other hand, passionately criticize it.
Do you believe the United States is the greatest country in the world?
Yes.
A popular insult thrown around when people go against the idea is the common, "Go back to your country if you don't like it," which no one wants to hear. You don't have to say America is the greatest, but never express alternative opinions unless you're up for potential confrontation. If you say it, you could also hear something like this.
First step in solving any problem is recognizing there is one. America is not the greatest country in the world anymore.
Did you enjoy this video?
I did enjoy the video. There was nothing there that I would say anyway. If I was going over to America, I'm not going to start asking people how much money they make, how much they weigh. I'm not going to start saying it's not the best country in the world. Can anyone... I mean, if you are really patriotic, you choose your own country, I guess, but it's tough to say there's one best country in the world anyway. I wouldn't even say England's the best country in the world, not by a long shot. Our weather's terrible. We have some great things, we have some not so good things, as does every place. Let me know what you guys thought down in the comments. Is there anything you disagree with here that you would talk about as an American? Let me know what other videos you want to see. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I'll see you for the next one. Take it easy. Peace.